The college basketball experience, Big South Conference Preview Edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code TCESGPN. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience, Big South edition. Quadruple header over here tonight at the college experience, so no need to change the channel. You got the Big South, you got the Southland, you got the SEC, and then we'll even talk SEC football in the Database Top 25 and Tuesday previews because we got football every day until God knows when. It's a good time to be alive. College hoops opening night 2 weeks away. We got you covered, all 31 conference previews. I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. And joining me to talk college hoops, he loves the Big South himself. He is he's from the state of Michigan. He is the LeBaron driving cocktail napkin having. He is Noah Bienick, a.k.a. Noah B77. What's up, man?
Quarter number one of the night. 4 quarters running over here at the TCE. I'm ready to go. We're hitting lead off with the Big South. Let's go.
Oh yeah. It's a day. I made sure you get the case of beer, like Frank in the chat is saying. Get loaded up, sit back, relax. You can throw on you got Game 7 as well. You got a doubleheader in Monday Night Football. Good time to be alive. This guy is very fired up because he's an Indiana Hoosiers football fan and an Indianapolis Colts fan. This team's never fucking lose. He is from this great state of Indiana. The co-host of the Pump Fake Pod, he is Michael Huffer, a.k.a. Huff Puff. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me. Yeah, you guys got a jam-packed schedule tonight. Happy to be a part of the first drive and the game script a little bit for the Big South here. So, yeah, love it. And, it's a great time to be an Indiana fan, I guess. So, for some teams, especially the Colts.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
I'm glad that you're now feeling like that same kind of high that I've had with Michigan football success and Detroit Lions success. You never ever get both at the same time. So
correct.
Really enjoy it.
yeah. I was entitled Colts fan growing up with Peyton Manning, so now this feels great. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but always never too high. 1-0 always, just like how the Big South is, baby.
I won the backyard brawl. That's pretty much the highlight of my football season, and that will be my only highlight of the football season. But
the backyard brawl win and the Pat McAfee donation.
Oh yeah,
money's coming in. Colts and Virginia ties.
Money's coming in, baby. Got my apartment back there, So you should have seen me today. I got me a pickup truck, and I was knocking out slides at the dealership while paperwork was processing. So I was like,
hard at work.
Oh, dude, I was like, I'm going to be coming in hot here. I got to get these slides done before I hit the road because I was up in the Northern Virginia area. So I made sure I got all the slides for 50 teams that we're going to talk about here tonight. So Noah, lead it away here. How did we do in the Big South last year where High Point got it done this time around and got back to the dance?
Yeah, High Point swept the titles, both conference tournament title and the regular season. So there wasn't a whole lot of surprise in that. We both had High Point win in the regular season. They go 14-2 in conference here. They did stumble in the non-conference, and we were both like, High Point's just going to run it. They might even get in at large bid this year. They lose by 10 to Missouri State. They also lose against UNC Greensboro and Norfolk State. And we were like, oh, shit, well, maybe High Point isn't going to be this machine that we think they're going to be. And they just hit another level in conference play. They did deal with some injuries last year as well, and they kind of got healthy at the right time and made a good run in that NCAA tournament appearance too. They had Purdue on the ropes early, and then the Boilers, they pulled away late. But, so I had High Point winning the tournament. You took Radford. You got a little special and different there with the Highlanders.
They were close. They almost
yeah.
knocked off those Highlanders.
They were also 5th in the preseason poll. You had them 3rd. They finished 4th in the conference. So we were looking for 2 spots of improvement or more on the preseason poll. So not quite there. I had UNC Asheville, who was 4th on the preseason poll, and they finished 3rd, or technically tied for 2nd. So maybe that's more of a win than I thought, but I still didn't give myself that because I had the 2 High Point predictions, and then I also got my bust wrong, my sleeper wrong. Winthrop was picked 2nd in the league. They finished tied for 2nd. I had them as my disappointment. And Mac had Longwood, and this one came through. They finished under 500 for the Lancers there in Griff Aldrich's final season. And that gets to us to our next topic of discussion is the new faces in the league. Alan Huss takes off from High Point to be the assistant head coach at Creighton and probably head man in waiting after McDermott calls it a career. And Flynn Clayman steps in for the Panthers down there. Ronnie Thomas, I think this was a promotion from within, right, Mac, on Longwood's staff?
Yep. They promoted within.
And then we had Zach Chu hired at Radford, who, believe it or not, is already under investigation by the NCAA. So way to go.
Moneyball at Radford. We'll talk about Radford. That's going to be an interesting preview. They get a lot of hype here because they bought themselves a team.
Yeah.
But,
what does the analytics say?
we'll talk on the Radford Highlanders. But yeah, I mean, I think
shout out to Darius Nichols who got the LaSalle job. That's how that opening came about. So
I think you're right. I mean, so 9 teams in this league now. Which means 33 or a third of the coaches are new. So this league's going to be interesting this year.
It's up for grabs because I think everybody's favorite has a new first-time head coach. So
correct.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to this preview. So I'll tell you what else I am looking forward to, and that is. I don't know if I'm really looking forward to this, but I know a lot of people are, and that's the NBA. The NBA tips off this week, so make sure you subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast for daily picks and podcasts. Tune into the NBA Gambling Podcast. They do a great job over there, those guys. I mean, dude, they earn their paycheck over there because all these soft asses in the NBA with this load management, I don't know how they break down these games because they don't even know who the hell's playing. So get on over there to get your latest load management news today.
It's like us picking the college basketball crown games. Figuring out who's playing, who's not, who's opting in, opting out.
See, for one night though on the crown though.
I'm a true company man, professional. As I talked up the NBA Gambling Podcast while shitting on the NBA. So fantastic. Welcome to the college experience. Where
I love it too because the ads changed and you caught yourself because it was previously the hockey gambling podcast and the Friday night ice and college experience hockey shows, and then just literally changed yesterday. So
I wasn't even gonna make up that I'm excited for the NBA. I hate that shit. I got a couple guys in the NBA that I know that I pull for. I'll watch the
speaking of one of your guys in the NBA, he made the media members play against their coaching staff.
Missoula, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Missoula, that was great.
Missoula's like a college coach in the NBA. That's why he's even easier to root for. So
the media shows up in their athletic shorts and t-shirt, and they go, what are the teams? And he goes, there is no teams. You're playing us.
Absolutely hilarious. So
great.
Shout out to the chat alive and well. Mike Morrell makes the thumbnail here. The longest tenured coach I think now in the league. So
might be. Yeah.
Let's talk Saah Nimley here over at Charleston Southern to lead it off. Team 1 of 9. Nimley played at Charleston Southern. He's one of their own. He got promoted within. He got the interim tag removed after the 24 season where they were chippy that first year. And honestly, I thought they were chippy for the most part last year too. Back-to-back 6-10 conference seasons. I know maybe that's not the sexiest record, but if you remember how bad Charleston Southern was before he took over, all things considered, I think he's doing a decent job here through a year and a half. So, Nimley, one of their own, easy guy to pull for. Noah, take it away.
Yeah, 1,000%. And only one team returns more than 50% of their minutes from last season, that being USC Upstate, who last year went 2-14. So I don't know if a whole lot of continuity is winning, or I'll just say, like, I'm not going to be mentioning every departure for each of these rosters. We'll cut this one a little bit shorter by doing that. The continuity team in this league may not be your front runner. For Charleston Southern, it's almost a brand new roster. They returned two guys, Alan Sumner, who played 30 minutes a game, averaged 14 points per game, shot at 32.5% from three in the 2023-24 season. And Reese Jones, a 6'10 senior forward who played 21 minutes a game last year, averaged 6 and 6 in the front court. Probably your starting five. Everybody else on this team is new. You've got a couple of JUCO stars that are expected to play big roles on this team. Armari Caraway, a 6-foot junior point guard who averaged 4.5 assists last year at Eastern Arizona, who averaged 14 points per game, 4 boards. And Bryson Blaine, who was ranked 71st by JUCOrecruiting.com in the JUCO transfer portal, coming out of Gulf Coast State, where he averaged 10 points, 4.5 boards, and 3.5 assists per game. He's a 6'5 wing, very talented, kind of do-it-all guy. And then there's a NAIA incomer, Jaquias Franklin. May not have drilled that, but he's a dead-eye. 5.5 threes a game last year at 37% clip, averaged 15.5 points per game, 3.5 assists, 3 boards per game. He's a fifth-year senior. You got a couple of D2 guys in Luke Williams and Trent Coleman. And then a few D1 transfers coming down. You like to see that. Nate Bradford, a 6'9 senior forward, played 15.5 minutes a game last year for Georgia Southern. He's going to step out and shoot a couple of threes for you per game. And also Devin Bradford, who is a 7'1 sophomore, played 14 minutes a game his first year at Siena there. A few more D1 transfers in. Deontay Bass from Alabama State, and then Jesse Hafmeister from Mercyhurst. And that is the kind of expected rotation and a little bit more depth pieces for the Bucks. Overall, for me, like, this is a program that I think is definitely heading in the right direction. What do you feel about it, Huffer?
Yeah, I mean, they're taking the step in the right direction, but you make really good points about all these transfers in NAIA, which kind of worries me personally. Can these guys take the next step? But you mentioned so many good pieces, and I'll just shout real quickly. I don't want to reiterate too much, but Luke Williams and Bryson Blaine, I mean, those guys may be the two centerfolds for this team. I think Luke Williams is going to dominate that backcourt, kind of be that kind of glue guy that leads the team. And then Bryson Blaine also started at James Madison as well. So before his JUCO transfer, I think, they definitely have some talent on this team, but going to be an interesting step. I mean, they're kind of always in that 5 to 10 win category per year, but I think Nimley's a good coach to Mac's point, and definitely going to go in the right direction, and could be a wild card this year with how open this conference is. But I'm not too high on the Pirates just with the talent that they have. I think they need to get some, get some more continuity together, but they definitely could still, surprise us in the Big South and be a super wild card team. But I really like Luke Williams and Bryson Blaine. So, the Pirates are, they're going to, they could have, like I said, they could have 8 wins and still be, 7th or 6th in the conference with just 9 teams. So, they're taking the steps in the right direction, though.
They lack a little bit of offensive talent. I will say that. The roster has positional size. There's experience here. The rotation, like I mentioned, rattling off all the names, that's 9 upperclassmen. These last 2 seasons under Saah Nimley, Charleston Southern has had a top 5 defense in the Big South, but it's been the offense that's killed them. Rated in the 300s of Ken Palm efficiency in both seasons so far. So I've got the Bucks just outside of that top tier and we'll talk about that top tier throughout this episode. I think there's 4 or 5 programs that you can count on being contenders, and there's really not one that I guess truly sticks out to me, at least this season.
Well, and I also don't think the top is going to run away with it like it did the last couple of years. So I could see Charleston Southern hovering around that 500 mark in league play and hanging around the middle of the pack. So give me another step here. Year 3 of Nimley. I know they replace a lot, but they are towards the upper part of experience in this league. So some moving pieces, but they will guard, they will compete, and I think that's good enough to hang around the middle of the pack here in the Big South.
Do they play Miami again this year? Is a question.
I hope so. You just get out of them. That was fantastic. That was the end of Jimmy Larinaga.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm done with this. I'm out.
That was his portal. I'll tell you, Jeremy Luther was done with Gardner Webb at the end of last year with the way that they stumbled out of the stretch. 5-11 in conference play, 11-20 in year number 1. He takes over. Why am I drawing a blank on who took the Western Carolina job?
Tim Kraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
Tim Kraft.
He previously worked under Kraft, right?
Correct. Yeah, Kraft was there for 11 years, and Luther was with him every step of the way. I mean, Luther's been with this program since 2013. He played at Robert Morris Liberty, so a little bit of definitely was a down year in year number 1. He's also had experience at Newberry as a head coach. I'm interested to see what happens with year 2. Maybe he struggled to take the program last year to another level, just with trying to implement his identity. I know he had been with Kraft for a decade plus, but maybe Luther now thumbprints on his program. We'll see what happens here with Gardner Webb in year 2 of Jeremy Luther, Noah.
Yeah, year 1 of Luther, Gardner Webb's offense was rated 7th, defense 8th in the conference. Luther was personally a guy that I was a little worried about entering year 1 because of his qualification, to be a head coach. More, he's got a really good recruiting background. He'd never manned a sideline before, and that kind of resulted in Gardner Webb tallying their fewest Big South wins since 2010. And now Torvik has the Bulldogs as the second least experienced roster in the league. And I don't think that's the direction that you want to be headed, especially mid-major basketball where experience and continuity tends to win. Your 2 returners are Jacob Hudson and Colin Hawkins. Both of them played less than 15 minutes a game a season ago during their freshman years. They're now both expected to be starters. So that's immediately like a little bit of a red flag, not a great place to start for me. What I will say is a great place to start is Ace Talbert. He's gonna have his hands on the ball pretty much every possession this season. He comes in from St. Francis, didn't play a whole lot last year due to injury, but 28 minutes a game, 10 points per game, 3 boards, 2 assists, shot at 38% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. That's a big piece from a St. Francis team and program that has had some really good years in like this recent run. And Talbert's a junior this upcoming season. You've also got Iona transfer and Jacob Hogarth, who only played 7.5 minutes a game his freshman year. He's a 6'9" sophomore forward. Also coming in, expected to start from the JUCO transfer portal. They bring in 3 guys from JUCO. Curtis Williams II, he's a 6'7" junior wing, averaged 9 points per game, 3 boards at Northwest Florida State. You've got Amadou Diaye coming in from Southwest Mississippi. Averaged 6 and 5 with 1 block a game as a 6'8" junior big man. Julius Clark is a 6'7" junior who at Tallahassee State, another junior college, averaged 16, 5, and 2 assists per game. And then 2 D2 transfers coming in. Navuan Peterson. I did not drill that. He comes in from Trevecca Nazarene, averaged 9 and 6.5 boards with over a block per game, over a steal per game as a 6'6" kind of forward/center hybrid there. And then Riek, D2 transfer from Drury, He's a graduate senior, 6'9", kind of just a depth big man there. But Gardner Webb, to me, this roster is not pretty. It's young, inexperienced, and a team that I ultimately have in the basement of the league. So that's my point on the Bulldogs this year.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Noah. I mean, definitely at the bottom of the league, but maybe the step in the right direction. I mean, losing all of your starters isn't an awful team for how they performed last year. Luther loves having that kind of small ball style of play. And so shooting wise, they just lacked that efficiency last year. So if they can improve that, maybe they can get familiar. But they do bring in some shooters, like you mentioned, Julius Clark, Ashton King, and whatnot. Curtis Williams III, like you mentioned, Reek, who's one of their big men. So I think we're going to see some playing time out of him, and then the Iona transfer as well as one of their main pieces in the front court. So they do bring in size. Maybe there's an improvement there. But I'm just not too high on Gardner Webb. But I think they are taking the step in the right direction. Maybe Luther's that promoted manager that just doesn't take over as well. But whole new face, whole new athletic director, all new just athletic program in general. So just a brand new face for Gardner Webb and across the board, top down. So maybe that's a step in the right direction. But the inexperience needs to proven to be experienced later, and they're going to only have to get that through being thrown in the fire, which is going to be tough for them this year.
Yeah, I have been in the basement. I think that there's a lot unknown. Luther's still unproven as a head coach in this Big South. That you mentioned it. They take a step back from that first year, or from what they were, where they were finishing top 4, top 5 in this league consistently to the basement, or just outside the basement last year. So I have them close to the basement for another year under Luther. All right, next up, let's go over to the new man in charge of the High Point Panthers. That is Flynn Clayman coming over here. He had spent the last 3 years with Alan Huss down there at High Point as his associate head coach. He was the interim head coach at Southern Utah for that 2-1 year that you see. Played at Colorado State, played at Troy. Well-respected guy in the industry. I think that this was a nice promotion within. He was really instrumental in helping Alan Huss get those guys. I know that they have a lot going for them down at High Point. Don't get me wrong. Their NIL is at a completely different level than most of the teams in this league. So High Point, I think, will continue to roll here in this league. They're loaded again. I know they lost Huss. I know they lost a lot of guys. They were replacing a lot. But talent is not the issue here, Noah.
No, it's not. I do think it's like put this thing on autopilot and hopefully it takes you there, right? So yeah. Flynn Clayman, he spent the last 2 seasons as the associate head coach here, like Mac mentioned. He was the offensive coordinator at High Point. That's kind of been the calling card for the Panthers. In both seasons, they've notched a top 40 offense nationally, which is far outclassed the rest of this conference. So I do think that you're going to get some good X and O's from this first-time head coach. But really, it is like the timeouts, the kind of game management point that you're not going to learn until you just cannonball into the pool. High Point has the second most experienced roster in the Big South this preseason, and that expectation comes with these 8 seniors that are all going to play big minutes for this team this year. Once again, just spending big money that a lot of the rest of the conference does not have for transfer portal players. Cameron Fletcher is the big name here. I mean, this guy's kind of been all over the place. Florida State, Xavier, like a talented forward who can shoot it from outside. And that's kind of the big strength of this team is they're able to shoot the ball. Rob Martin shot 40.5% last year at SEMO from deep on 3.5 attempts per game. He averaged 15 points per game, 4.5 assists. He's probably going to man the point. You have Vincent Brady II, who shot 38% from 3 on 4 attempts a game at Missouri State last year. He averaged 13.5 points per game. Also can handle the ball a little bit there. He averaged 2.5 assists last season for the Bears, playing some point. You have Scotty Washington coming in from a really good CSUN team last year. Northridge was unbelievable. He shot 35% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game. He averaged 14.5 points per game with 3 boards. Who else? We've got Babacar Diallo coming in from UMKC. He's a 6'6" grad senior who can shoot 35% from three a season ago. Where do we go next? Chase Johnston. He returns. He shot 42.5% from three on 5 attempts per game off the bench. This guy might play a little bit of a bigger role for the Panthers this year. He's a graduate senior 6'3" guard. Owen Aquino is your expected starting big man. He's a 6'8" senior forward, played 24.5 minutes a game last year for Liberty. Takes a little bit of a step down in conference after averaging 8.5 and 5.5 with 2 assists out of the 5. Shot at 58.5% from the floor. Like, this team's got a little bit of everything. The defense might be a little bit of a question mark for me. It seems like there's also a lot of mouths to feed here, but overall, talent in abundance, shooting in abundance, and it's just put it on autopilot. This is my main analysis here. Hoffer, what do you think about High Point?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Money talks, and they got a lot of money in this conference, way more in some of these teams in NIL funding. So I don't think it's going to be any issue whatsoever. This is going to be a powerhouse for quite some time. So I have to agree with you there. And I don't think that's going to be too much of an adjustment for Clayman as well. The Pump Fake Pod got pretty chastised on High Point. We spelled him Flynn Chapman on accident. You could have seen the outrage from the Big South fandom. So yeah, I'm super high on High Point. All those guys you mentioned, that's where they can win in the portal constantly and always bring in a good roster. And then Singer as well from UConn. I mean, come on, you got a UConn player going to Big South, so I think it's going to be an immediate top 3 yet again, and maybe not a 14-2 season in the Big South, but definitely going to be past that 10-11 win mark, and in the top 3 in this conference, no problem.
Yeah, they're bench mob. I mean, you got a guy from Arizona, UConn, and they're bench mobbing for this squad. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, they have dudes in this program. I mean, yeah, you mentioned they may not have the rim protection that they had with Bodo over the last couple of years, and then Kamani Hamilton defensively on the perimeter. I think that kind of took them to another level, and why they were able to go 27-5 in Big South regular season games over the last 2 years, but they still are loaded with guys coming into this program, whether it's Martin, Brady, or Washington. Those guys all scored at a high clip at their previous spots. I would anticipate that they do the exact same thing. High Point will not struggle offensively. That's for sure.
I think Singer will be a great replacement for Bodo.
Well. Agree. Yeah, playing at UConn and being 6'10" with some rim protection. So,
and I will say this too: Ride the Bouge in the YouTube comments, like asking when was the last time that the Big South won a tournament game. Well, I mean, you're being posted as a 16 or 15 seed in most occasions out of the Big South. High Point's kind of breaking the mold there and changing a little bit of the narrative. Last year they competed with Purdue in round 1. I think you just got you got to, what saying am I looking for? You got to continue throwing darts at the dartboard in order to hit a 60. You're not going to hit a 60 all the time. So
High Point will win a tournament game one of these years.
Once they're headed in that direction for sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else is headed in the right direction. That's mybookie.ag. Our friends over at mybookie.ag is a place to bet on football, basketball, and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head over to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code TCESPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500. For a new customer, that's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by NoVig. NoVig is America's #1 sports betting market out there. America's #1 sports prediction market. You're getting the best prices everywhere. NoVig is available in 35 plus states. Download that NoVig app and get $50 off when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with NoVig. Promo code SGPN. Next up, another first-year head coach. We go over to the program that won the tournament a couple years ago. They've won 2 out of the last 4. That is the Longwood Lancers. Griff Aldridge goes over to UVA to join his old buddy Ryan Odom here. They promote within Ronnie Thomas, who had been at Longwood for the last 5 years. He played at Bridgewater in the state of Virginia. So young head coach here at the age of 33. I'm interested to see how this promotion does, because obviously they're going with the continuity within the program and building off of what Aldridge was able to do. Thomas was there every single year that Aldridge was there, so they believe in this guy, and we'll see if they can continue the momentum that they've built. Longwood secretly had a little bit of money over these last couple years with that new arena here, Noah.
Yes. Yeah. They spent a lot of money in like the old way of how you impress recruits and whatnot, and in that arena and in the facilities and everything like that. I want to spin this back to you for some analysis real quick. Like, Coach Ronnie Thomas spent 5 years working under Aldridge as the director of recruiting and player development. He had a few years, I think at the JUCO or D2 level, but overall, overall like 8 years, I think it was, so far as a coach, and young, 33. I mean, could you imagine yourself as a head coach right now after a little bit of that experience?
I mean, it's a little young to get a gig, but if you're going to do it, you do it this way, promote within. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of question marks here with this hire. Thomas is very unproven, so I'm interested to see the growing pains in year one.
I like the roster, and I think they retain a coach from within the program to kind of keep some of this roster together. You had the second most returning minutes out of any team in this conference, with Emmanuel Richards coming back after playing 20 and a half minutes a game last year. KJ McClurg, a 6'3" redshirt senior guard who played 18 minutes a game, averaged 7 points per game, shot 31% from 3 on 3 attempts per match up there. Elijah Tucker comes back after playing 20 minutes a game last year, shot at 58.5% from the floor as a big man, but he kind of got over recruited here, and we'll get to that in a second. Other returners, Jalen Bernard, 16 minutes a game, and Trey Hicks played 8 minutes a game. Chris Mickens, 2.5 minutes a game. But yeah, Ronnie Thomas has some recruiting chops, and that was like the strength of his somewhat resume so far. He hit the portal hard, and he did that especially in the front court. He brings in two big men from like higher tier jobs and conferences. Elijah Jones comes in from Charleston, a 6'7" forward, played 12 and a half minutes a game last year. Just didn't get a whole lot of burn. And then you got Alfonso Billups III transferring in from VCU. Again, a guy that only had 7 minutes a game for the Rams last year, but took 2 threes per game as a 6'7" redshirt junior forward. And then manning their point this year is expected to be Jacoy Hutchinson, coming in from George Washington. He played 23 and a half minutes a game last year for the Colonials or the Revolutionaries, whatever you want to call them. And then Red Thompson, a 6-foot sophomore guard, transfers in from James Madison, only had 4 minutes of burn last year per game. And then the other JUCO recruit coming in is from Daytona State, Jalen Payne. JUCOrecruiting.com ranked him 57th in their portal. 9.5 points per game, 6 boards, just under a block per game for the big man. Adds a little bit of depth and already a strong front court. And that's kind of my read on this team, is there's some talent here for Longwood. It's just another literally first year head coach, and there's some inexperience on the sideline that'll ultimately keep them, in my opinion, away from contending for a title, but they're definitely a top half team. This has been one of those 4 to 5 programs in this league that have been steady, like forefront of this league. Huffer, we were talking pre-show, and you were kind of interested in this group as well.
Yeah, I'm actually a little higher on this group than some are. I think hiring within always is good. It keeps the continuity of the system that was built. I mean, it'll be interesting to see kind of how it translates with the inexperience. They're a really youthful team, but definitely have potential conference player of the year, and Elijah Tucker coming back. He's a beast down low, super physical team. They're going to beat you up, smash mouth basketball, and that's what I like. Good home court presence. I think last year was a letdown year at 18-14, 7-9 in the conference. I think it's going to be a step up and no problem for year one under Ronnie Thomas. But the youth of him, the youth of the team is interesting. He's definitely going to be in the right direction if they can keep some of those freshmen and not lose them to the transfer portal and try to keep these young guys to build up for the future. So definitely a good hire, in my opinion, despite the age. And I'm actually pretty high on the Lancers to be a massive wild card in the Big South.
I have them in the middle / right there at the upper half, in that 4 or 5 range. I think that, yes, this team does have a lot coming back compared to other teams in league outside of USC Upstate, so they rank second in returning production. But I have my question marks about Ronnie Thomas. I mean, it's different. Like I said, I always say this. It's always different when you got to be the one that calls the timeouts and calls the ball plays. So I want to see Ronnie Thomas do it for a season before I start blindly backing him. But I do think the roster, it will keep them in the upper half for the most part and competitive in the Big South.
I think it's one of the best 3 rosters in the league. That's
Agreed.
Not necessarily where I have Longwood ranked, though.
Yeah, because of the questions with Thomas.
Yep.
Quinton Ferrell over there. Let's talk to some Blue Hose here. We got Quinton Ferrell over at Presbyterian, now in his 7th season. He's done a good job, all things considered. Back-to-back 5th place finishes in league play. Presbyterian, a clear, hard job. Dustin Kearns did a really good job in the 1 year that he was over there before getting over to App State. But I think 3 out of the last 4 years, finishing 5th in this league. I know his overall record is not very good, but back-to-back CBIs here. Do they continue the trajectory, Noah, or do they finally fall out?
We'll see about that, but I agree with your overall statement here. Like, Presbyterian's outperformed expectations in back-to-back seasons under Quinton Ferrell, and while the offense and defense have been rated kind of like just in the middle of the pack, the rosters compared to the rest of the league just haven't been as talented. But I think it's been a great coaching job. The Blue Hose growth, I think it might get halted this season because 4 starters departed from last year's team, and this roster is super young. I mean, they don't have like a single projected starting upperclassman, maybe outside of maybe Jalen Peterson, who averaged 6 and 5.5 in the front court last year. He's a redshirt junior, shot 56% from the floor as 4th year, 5th year college guy. But I mean, sophomores in the backcourt, young depth pieces. There's some returning minutes here. We'll talk about that in a second, but they're kind of replacing that backcourt through the transfer portal. Eric Taylor and Josh Pickett. Taylor comes in from Sam Houston. He only had 11 minutes a game his freshman year with the Bearcats. And then Pickett, as a freshman with the Denver Pioneers, played 19 minutes a game last year. Both of these guys are going to have a lot more runway to work with in the Presbyterian program and should improve the offense, I think. There's some shooting potential with both of these guys. And then the other 2 transfers coming in are Jeremiah Israel from Northern Kentucky and Kalen Hudson from Spartanburg Methodist, also down there in Big South Country, average 18.5 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists as a 6'6" big man. But that's not really going to play in the Big South. That's a big man in the JUCO level, playing at the 4 or 5, but that's like a wing in D1. The returners here is kind of another, I guess, strength in this league. It should have them as one of the better teams outside of that top 4 or 5 programs. You got Iverson King coming back after playing 19 minutes a game. Jonah Pierce played 24.5 minutes a game last year, averaged 13 and 7. One of your better pieces in this league. Shot 67% from the floor. Carl Parrish, 18.5 minutes a game last year as a 6'3" junior guard. And Tristan Wilson played 10 minutes a game. Luke Allison kind of riding the bench there. But you've got 4 returners that played 18 plus minutes a game last year. That's a great place to start for a program like Presbyterian, but they do lose those 4 starters. It'll be interesting to see how this team plays out early, because I like what Quinton Ferrell's done so far in his tenure at Presbyterian, but there's just a clear hurdle in talent that they just haven't been able to climb over, and that I think is going to hinder them again this year.
Yeah, I like Presbyterian. I mean, you do bring back some rotational starters. You had Jonah Pierce injured last year, who was a dominant force for them right away, especially in the non-conference because he got injured a little bit into Big South. So I think he could definitely be a piece, even coming back from an injury, that could be a huge presence for Presbyterian, and they do have some familiarity at least. I kind of like this roster. I think I think that they, if they stay healthy, they definitely could be another, random 7-9 last year after just being perennial losers. So major beat the expectations last season. I think now you have some expectations, so it may falter you. But Farrell knows what it takes to win. He proved that he could win, and that's always good to get the train rolling. So the Blue Hose, just another wild card. A lot of wild cards teams outside of those basement dwellers that we're talking about.
I feel like a lot of what you could say about Charleston Southern, you could say about Presbyterian. Very similar programs of having an identity and just chippy and competing despite not having the resources as some of these other top programs. So it's signing me up for Farrell to keep them somewhat near the middle of the pack once again. I don't know if they're going to be able to crack the top 5 for a third straight year, but I don't think the bottom's going to fall out just because they have an identity and they play hard.
Yeah, and both of these programs are seeing some recent success, and that's coming with Campbell, who's in the same kind of recruiting grounds and have jumped up in leagues, and I think that's really good progress for both programs.
All right, next up on the dock,
yeah.
Everybody's favorite team,
yeah.
the Radford Highlanders. Zach Chu, year number 1. First-year head coach, comes over from SMU the last 2 seasons under Andy Enfield. He was with the Indiana Pacers, analytics and game strategy, Dallas Mavericks, analytics. He played at Richmond for Mooney back in the day, graduating in 2015. So his coaching experience outside of the analytics, he was a assistant on the Texas Legends from 2016 to 19. All right. I'll be fading this team. Just be point blank.
I will say, throw this team in that top 3 rosters. That conversation. But
money wise, they got themselves a roster. But I need to see it from the coaching staff. This is an NBA 2K. This is a managing personalities. I know they're going the Moneyball route. They think they bought a nice roster to compete with High Point. Culture still matters. Continuity still matters. High Point has that. The other 2 hires were promoted within. This one's not a promotion within. I got a lot of question marks here. I'll be fading Radford this year. I'll be open. I'll be fading the analytics too. So, no, take it away.
Yeah, Mac's taking it personally. I'm just, speaking with also just rationale. The roster's good. It's a nice collection of experienced upperclassmen, but I have no idea what we're getting from the coaching staff as a whole. They just clearly, the attack was, or the pitch to Radford was, hire me and don't worry about NIL. I'll take care of it. And we're going to pay a shitload for some good players in the transfer portal. You bring in Jalen Johnson, who stuffed the stat sheet at Tennessee Tech, did a little bit of everything for the Golden Eagles. That's the guy coming into this league. And then he's going to be surrounded by some down transfers. Del Jones coming in from Clemson, only played 12 minutes a game last year. Mari Jordan, a redshirt sophomore, 6'5" guard who comes in from Tulane, shot 35% from 3 in 19.5 minutes a game. And then NC State's Dennis Parker Jr., who only played 12.5 minutes a game last year as a 6'6" junior forward. Georgia Southern's Tyson Brown, a 6'9" grad senior forward who averaged 7 and 7 in the Big South. He shot 63.5% in limited attempts. He's an experienced piece. You got Brennan Rigsby coming in from Minnesota, who's a 6'3" grad senior, played 17 minutes a game last year. From Sanford, Lucas Walls, a 6'5" junior, who played 21.5 minutes a game. And then D2 transfer Bradley Land from Colorado Christian, Louis Jordan from UMBC, and then the one lone returner on the squad is Zion Walker, who played 11 and a half minutes a game as a freshman. There's some freshmen from Europe that are on this squad as well, as some bench warmers, development pieces for future seasons. But overall, I mean, it's a roster that you have to like. It's got the experience. There's shooting. There's defense. There's a lot of winning intangibles. It's just put the thing on autopilot and see how it works out, because just don't get in the way. Huffer, any analysis on Chu or this roster? Because I think this roster is the second best in the league.
Roster wise, I have to agree. I mean, high NIL money, you're gonna take what you get, and they've taken a lot. So they've done well in the portal, like you mentioned, with those players. But man, I don't care if you're handing a report to Coach Carlisle. I don't care if you're doing a presentation for Coach Carlisle. You don't automatically just translate that into a locker room, into a practice court, into film sessions. He may be able to do some analytics, but he better have some good assistant coaches around him. And he does, of course, but all kind of from all over a little bit across the pond. But no one from within Radford. So I'm not as butthurt about the Nichols hire. I think it still is BS, but I'm also with Mac about just being good at analytics doesn't mean you can translate to a locker room necessarily. And there's some stuff going on with him behind the scenes. So who knows? I think they have the talent to be there, but I'm just not too high on them. I think they're going to be one of those high expectations teams that ends up letting us down this season.
Coach-side. Yeah, I need to see it. It's not personal. He's 32 years old. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Prove it to me.
We all believe you. It's not personal.
Hey, I know Radford was pretty damn good last year. They were one play away from beating High Point to get to the conference championship game. So, hey, could have promoted within and kept the continuity like the other two programs.
Again, he does not hold grudges. Doesn't remember,
handing a booklet or packet to about all the X's and O's to a team ain't going to get it done as much in college basketball as we think. I don't think so. I don't care about the analytics.
Come on. They could very well be saying players win games, So
we'll see how Zach Chu does here.
Yeah.
Let's go over to USC Upstate. Actually, let me hit an ad real quick, because over here at the College Experience, we are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog, also a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats, available in a ton of different states. Underdog's got a new brand offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you use the sign-up code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is crushing in college football and NFL with picks and props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model, build, and you can win up to $1,000. Use our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download the Rhythm and use our promo code SGPN25. Let's go over to Marty Richter over there at USC Upstate. This is year number 2 now. Disappointing year last year, 6-26. He is a Darren DeVries guy. Last 6 years before that, over at Drake. He also was at Florida Southwestern State at the JUCO level, where he went 56-10. I think this hire is going to work out. It's just going to take time. It's a hard job. So everything we said with some of these other programs, not the most resources compared to the High Points and Radfords of the world. Noah, what's your thoughts here?
Well, first off, this is an entertainment show. I got to give you shit. UN comes before US in the alphabet. Also, Asheville comes before Upstate. So
let's see what Wikipedia has first.
I'm confused how we got the USC Upstate before Asheville.
Because we're the editors.
Because it's in Wikipedia, it's South Carolina Upstate. I just added USC. Upstate.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
What about North Carolina Asheville?
Well, they're UNC Asheville in Wikipedia. Blame the Wikipedia, not me. They forgot to put Gardner Webb in this league.
There we go. We got one of the best college basketball handicappers. He relies on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, baby. Yeah, it keeps it organized over there with these coaches.
Yeah. USC Upstate's identity under Coach Marty Richter in year one was pretty simple. Their tempo was through the roof fast, but they weren't efficient on either side of the floor, and it led to the Spartans getting blown out more often than you would like. USC Upstate returns by far the most minutes in the conference, but you kind of have to wonder, is that a good thing after a 6-26 season, 2-14 in conference? Will there be internal development here? That is the big question. They only bring in 3 newcomers from the transfer portal. Anyway, Tyler Smith, a 6-foot junior, comes in from Trinity Valley, who was the point guard there for national championship team, averaged 10 points, 5 assists, 3 boards. They went 34-3 there. And then the other JUCO recruit is Japheth Martinez, a 6'9" junior forward, comes in from Florida Southwest State, averaged 7-7 with over a block per game. And then Lee Eric Davis comes in from Milwaukee. He only had 5 minutes of burn last year. I mean, you return 3 starters, Carmani Gregory, Carmelo Adkins, and Kanye Jones, Nick Book, Braylon Garcia, Chico Johnson, Isaiah Skinner, all come back. All played double-digit minutes a season ago. All really good things to have in a program in the mid-majors. Experience and continuity wins games. In saying that, I have severe questions and nervousness about wanting the back Upstate with last year's performance. Gregory, he's a 6'1" redshirt junior guard who averaged 11 and 3.5 assists per game. He didn't shoot it well, hoping to take a little bit of a step up in the right direction there in that department. Adkins, as a freshman was outstanding in this league, averaged 10 and 5 with 33% from 3 on 4.5 attempts per game. Very nice wing piece. He should have another really good year for the Spartans here. Braylon Garcia averaged 8.5 and 5 and 20.5 minutes a game last year, shot 65% from the floor. Book is more of your defensive 6'8" big man. Last year as a freshman, he was scrappy on the glass, guard the post well, 53.5% from the field in limited attempts. Chico Johnson can shoot it, but he doesn't shoot it well. Isaiah Skinner kind of in that same boat. Upstate, I've pressed the brake a little bit on being bullish on continuity and experience, but I want to be somewhat high on this team early on because that's where I think they're going to have their best success while everybody else is, still figuring out their rotations and everything like that. So January, February is a time when I want to back them, and then February, March, I'm probably going to get a little bit bearish. So that's my Upstate read. Hufford, are you in the same boat, or how you feel about Upstate this year?
Not too high on this roster whatsoever. I think that they just lack a physical presence defensively on the perimeter, down low, and they just kind of lack a give a shit. So I think Richter's right move, but it's going to take some time, especially this program's notorious cellar dwellers in this conference, and to take the right step is going to be a big step. So a small step, 6 wins last year, 10 wins is an improvement, 11 wins is an improvement. But I think that just talent-wise, physicality-wise, they kind of lack what some of these teams do in this conference. So just not too high on Upstate, but they're moving in the right direction.
I want to like Richter just because he comes from the DeVries tree, and I think DeVries is a good coach, but he kind of plays the opposite of what DeVries played.
Right.
He wants to play way up and down. DeVries wants to grind it out. I think they will take a step, but a step might just be out of the complete basement in year 2. So, they have by far the most returning production, but it was not a good year last year to start off going 6-26. Let's go over to one of the premier programs in this league. That's Mike Morrell over at UNC Asheville. Year number 8, done a really good job. Went to an NCAA tournament. Look at the last 3 years. First place finish, second place finish, 16 wins, 14 wins, 11 wins. They have an identity in this program, man. They play together. They compete on the defensive end. They play fast for the most part. I think that Asheville will once again be good under Morrell. I don't see why they wouldn't. Morrell has this league figured out. He is the most successful coach in this league now, and kind of just looking top to bottom, I don't even think it's really close at this point. So it was just all the guys that have departed over the last couple of years. So why wouldn't we buy into these Bulldogs, Noah?
Well, here's why I might not want to totally buy into Mike Morrell. And so at UNC Asheville, his resume looks really good. But let me just walk you down the Drew Pember road, right? 3 seasons with Pember, the Bulldogs were 36-14 in conference, and they had 2 defenses that finished with the Big South's top rating and another second-best defensive unit. UNCA is 30-34 in 4 seasons with Morrell, but without Pember, and the defense was worse than 280th nationally in all 4 years, not finishing better than 6th in the conference. So I've, severe passiveness when wanting to jump on and be bullish and predict UNCA to be good. But we've talked about it. The coaching, I guess, ranking or hierarchy in this league, the bar's not high to be good. And I think Mike Morrell has shown the ability to develop talent, also recruit. And I think he's got one of the better programs in the league right now. You've got returning 2 starters, Justin Wright, who, in my opinion, I think he might be the player of the preseason favorite to be the player of the year. Last year he didn't play due to injury, but at Loyola Marymount, he put up 11 points per game, 3.5 boards, 2 assists with the Lions there. They were really good during his run at LMU. Toya Solomon's also a 6'9" grad senior forward who also, I think they have 1-2 in this conference as probably favorites. One of these 2 guys are going to be the go-to offensive player. And Solomon's a really nice piece, averaged 15.5 and 7 last year, shot 61% from the floor. Cameron Taylor in year 1 as a freshman averaged 9 points, 4 boards, shot 50.5% from the floor. He's a 6'7" forward. You've also got returning role players in Connor Dubsky, Sage Tolentino, Julian Clark, Corey Jones, Rasheed Baldwin. But the transfer portal is, I think it's a good class. Mitchell Taylor comes in from South Carolina State, averaged 20.5 minutes per game last year, 2.5 assists, shot 43% from 3. DJ Patrick comes in from Charleston Southern, in-conference transfer, 6'6" redshirt senior, played 32 minutes a game last year, 11.5 points, 5 boards, shot 8 threes per game at a 37.5% clip. And then Jaquel Powell was a redshirt freshman last year for Florida Atlantic. David Herms played 12 minutes a game for UTSA, and another redshirt freshman from New Mexico, Daniel Thomas. I like the returning pieces here for Asheville. I think they supplement that with some hand-picked perfect fits for the roster here. It's not like your Radford or High Point approach where you're going to go out and grab all these blue chippers from the portal. I like UNC Asheville. I think they're a top 3 team in the league because, again, they've got one of the more consistent coaches in this conference. So the Bulldogs, I've got them 3rd here. So in the Big South. Huffer, how do you feel?
Spoiler alerts. I like the Bulldogs here. I think they're the most talented roster, top to bottom. You have 2 potential defensive,
Really?
two potential player of the years. I mean, yes, transfer portal wise, maybe not the most talented, but 2 potential Big South player of the years in Toaz Solomon and Justin Wright as well. So Solomon, Big South runner up last year. I really like Asheville this year. I'm super high on them. I think that they are always competitive in this conference and always surprise some teams as well, or surprise this conference, even when you least expect it. But with the talent that they have, I think the Bulldogs are going to be just fine in the Big South. And look out for Solomon and Wright with just a 1-2 punch in the front court and back court.
I hear what you're saying with the Pember stats, Noah, but I think him finishing second last year kind of validated his tenure because that was the year after Pember. So,
Yeah.
he had his best 2 years with Pember. I mean, Pember was pretty damn good. So you would think that they would be their best with their best player, but I thought he really coached them up last year with a younger team going 11-5 in league play, finishing second again.
The defense was a sieve, though. That was kind of like my main.
I know he played different. He played way fast last year, and they were more offensive.
Yeah, so I'm going to look that up. Maybe I'm wrong on my assessment here of UNCA. This is important. They were in tempo last year. No, they're all last 4 years 120-ish tempo wise.
They were better offensive. They were more efficient offensively, though.
Yeah,
a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick to my guns here. I mean, it's not a big difference, second to third. So, but yeah.
All righty, final team on the board: Winthrop. Skip Prosser's son here, the great Skip Prosser, Mark Prosser over there at Winthrop. Winthrop's always been a good program. Prosser was his magical year was his first year when he won the Big South regular season title. He came over from Western Carolina. Obviously, he got the starting his old man being a legend in this game over at Wake Forest and Xavier over the years. So 78-52 in 4 years, 43-23. I guess you could say Prosser and Morrell are the two coaches that are always in the thick of things here. Every year they finish in the top four as long as Prosser has been under the manning the sideline. So kind of just want to blindly back Winthrop, just like Asheville. Like I'm getting the two most experienced coaches against a lot of guys that are unproven or a lot of guys that are just trying to grind every single win out because they have less resources. No, what do you think of the old Winthrop Eagles here?
Yeah, I like this coach a little bit better than the last one we just talked about. I got Winthrop second in the league. In Mark Prosser's 4 seasons at Winthrop, they've had a 500 or better conference record in each of them. All 4 seasons, top 3 offense in the Big South, and 3 of those teams came with a top half defense efficiency as well in Kempom. Prosser's roster for this upcoming season boasts massive influx of transfer portal talent, making it the most experienced Big South roster, according to Torvik. Your returners are basically just role players and rotation guys. The one that may have some runway to start is Logan Duncombe. He's a 6'10 senior forward who had played 8 minutes a game last year, shot 54% in limited attempts. But graduate seniors Tommy Camerad and Isaiah Wilson come back after playing double-digit minutes a season ago. Ty Hamilton, 6'10 junior forward, played 8 minutes a year ago. Henry Harrison, Cam Christie also returned after playing just short minutes in spurts last year. But you go into the transfer portal, and they really address the offense. They want to be a three-point shooting team. A lot of these guys are able to shoot the deep ball. You got last year Cody Clouette, coming in from San Diego, shot 5 threes a game at a 32.5% clip, averaged 9 points, 2.5 boards. Dalen Berry averaged 14 points per game, 5 boards, 3 assists at Charleston Southern last year. Shot 6 threes a game. Not a great clip, but he's not going to be the volume type of shooter this year on Winthrop compared to last year at Charleston Southern. Joshua Mayo, coming in from Coastal Carolina, one of their better pieces last year, shot 32% from 3 on 3.5 attempts a game, averaged 8.5 points, 3 boards, over 2 assists. Kareem Rozier was Duquesne's point guard at points last year, 3.5 threes a game at a 31.5% clip, averaged 3.5 assists, played 26.5 minutes a game last year. He's a 5'9 senior guard for this upcoming season. Coming in from Gardner Webb as well, you have Ferrell Boyogueno, shot 4 threes a game last year at a 33% clip, averaged 8 and 4. Georgia Southern transfer Braylon Thomas, Say Feldon Hendowi, Loyola Chicago, big man transfer in as 6'8 guy who only played 5 minutes a freshman year last year. But overall, there's a clear point of attack in that transfer portal for me. And I love the experience that they have on this roster. I think there's plenty of depth as well here. I have Winthrop as a title contender in the Big South this year.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like what the Prosser family tree, and this Winthrop's always a proud program. They always are competitive, and they definitely wear a chip on their shoulder knowing what the Winthrop program is, and they're constantly competitive in the Big South. I think this year, regardless of where I have them in my rankings, you're 1 or 2 wins away from being in the top 2. I think we talked about this conference being wide open. I think you're going to experience that with Winthrop, but they bring in a ton of depth. I think they have one of the more better depths in the conference off the bench. So I like Winthrop. How can you not? It's a great program and has the Prosser name. And I think these top 5, even top 6 teams in the Big South are going to be fighting for a top bid. I mean, it's going to be an interesting conference for, I think, the 6 that we all are high on at least.
Yeah, we're all seeing eye to eye here on Winthrop. Under Prosser, they have an identity, and they don't return that much, but they are at the upper side of this league in experience. So I have Winthrop right there competing in the top 3 once again under Prosser here. Let's go Winthrop. All right, let's rank them 1 to 9, and then let's get over to the Southland. So at number 9, do we all have Gardner Webb? I think you muted yourself, Bienick.
I'll go ahead. I got USC Upstate in the 9 spot. I don't have Gardner Webb, actually.
You're still muted, Bienick.
Bienick, you're muted.
There's dogs barking in the neighborhood behind me. It's so loud. So I apologize. I didn't know I put myself on mute and didn't unmute myself. I was saying I have Gardner Webb 9th, but I would not disagree with somebody if they told me they don't like Upstate's potential this year and they have Upstate 9th. So to Hoffer, I said I totally see it. I understand why he's got him 9th. So yeah, that's what I was saying when I was muted. I have Upstate 8th. I don't
I had it kind of as a tie there. I think Upstate's a little more improved, and I think Gardner Webb is more the same. So 8-9 Upstate, Gardner Webb, Bienick's with me on that side, and Huff has them flipped.
8 Gardner Webb. Yep.
Who you got in the 7 hole, Huff?
Charleston Southern.
I have Presbyterian there. I think Quinton Ferrell's been great. There's not really, to me, like a ton of talent on this roster. They haven't really been able to get over that hurdle and be a top 5-ish team in this league. So I think they're better than a basement dweller, but not good enough to break that top 5.
I have Presbyterian too, and I'll go right into 6. I think we're going to clump these 2 teams in together where we like Ferrell and we like Nimley, but we just think that the top 5 has more dudes and more resources. So I have Charleston Southern at 6.
You are correct. I have Southern there too. 2 top 5 defenses in 2 seasons under Nimley, just a lack of offensive talent.
Yeah, number 6 for me is Presbyterian as well. So.
All right, at number 5, Moneyball. I got Radford. Middle of the pack. A lot of money, middle results.
I have Longwood there. Some youth and inexperience with both the returners and down transfers and your head coach. So, I got Longwood 5.
Number 5 for me is Radford as well. Chu can kiss ass. He'll win a couple games.
Middle of the pack, man.
Yeah, middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack.
He'll win games.
Number 4, I got the Lancers of Longwood, another first-year head coach, but I think that they're a little bit tougher from an identity standpoint than Radford will be. So I have them just finishing ahead of Radford.
I have Radford 4th. Again, I think this is the second best roster in this league. We'll see if Zach Chu can keep it on autopilot. Like, just don't get in the way.
Yeah, just let your assistants coach. Number 4 for me is Winthrop. I think they're always a good program. And yes, to Ryan Gurdon's point, they play at 8 a.m. on Monday mornings. So let's go. Fantastic.
Absolutely love it. At number 3, I got Winthrop. Prosser. Like I said, death tax is Prosser in the top 4. He'll finish 3rd in this league. They'll grind out games that they're supposed to against some of these younger coaches.
I have Asheville 3rd. To me, just too many signs of poor defense without like a really good big man that can protect the rim. Literally every year that they haven't had Pember, the defense has been terrible. But it's been a top 3 program regardless under Morrell, and I've got him third.
Third for me is Longwood. I'm a little higher on Longwood than you guys still, but I think it's going to be a decent year for Ronnie Thomas in the regular season for his first year.
All right, I got Morrell and Asheville at number 2 bet, or I guess this would be 3 straight second place finishes since High Point started spending money. I'll blindly trust Morrell and Prosser once again this year.
I have Winthrop, most experienced postseason or preseason Big South roster. I think it's the best coach in the game in Prosser and best coach in the conference. Sorry. I got Winthrop second. I just think, that first place team's got a whole lot more, a bigger and better money gun.
Makes sense.
I'm not just being a disagreeing. I have High Point second here. I think High Point is going to be just fine. And they do have the money, and they're going to be battling with Asheville in the top. So I got second High Point here, actually.
So who do you have first? You have Asheville first?
I got Asheville first. Yeah, I think the talent. I really like their talent, and I think the 2 guys, and Solomon and Wright, like I mentioned, are going to be just forces in this conference.
It's a really nice guard big man combo for sure.
And then we both have High Point. I think Clayman's a little more seasoned. Not a little more. He is more seasoned than the other 2 first-year head coaches. So
correct.
Yeah,
definitely don't want to contradict myself, but this guy's got more experience with X's and O's. Like he's an former offensive coordinator, not only in I think he was with Creighton with Huss, but he was the associate head coach alongside Huss for these past 2 years. Like he's been there every step of the way in this High Point renaissance. So I think the Panthers retain that top spot.
Turney?
High Point.
Make it back-to-back.
I want the best teams in the tournament.
Give me Winthrop. Give me Winthrop in that experience. Prosser hasn't been to the tournament yet. Year 5 here. He's been to the title game. Last year they went to the title game. And they had the lead before High Point just put it in a second gear there. And ran him off the floor in the second half. So yeah, give me Winthrop over High Point in the final this time around.
I got Winthrop as well, though. I think it's destiny for Prosser. I think Asheville and High Point, you're going to see them in the semis, of course, but it's just going to be a letdown and a lack of shooting from one of those teams while Winthrop gets a little more physical. And they, like I mentioned, they have tons of depth, and we all know depth matters in March.
Yeah, Winthrop lost the championship game in 2022 as well as 2025.
To Longwood?
So,
yeah, he's been close, man. Yeah, come on. Longwood. This is Prosser's year. He's been knocking on the door, baby.
I mean, it is you could tell that the athletic department put a little bit more resources and trust in the transfer portal attack here, because the way that Winthrop's been going, it's been a lot of roster retainment, development, continuity type of attack. And it's clearly different there this year. So I like that approach. Trust your guy.
Bus, sleeper?
So the media poll, High Point 1, UNC Asheville 2, Longwood 3, Radford 4, Winthrop 5, Presbyterian 6, Charleston Southern 7, Gardner Webb 8, and USC Upstate 9. We're looking for 2 places of improvement compared to that media poll, or more than 3 wins of improvement from last year. If you want to pull up their wins from last year, explain.
I feel like I'm chalk.
But yeah,
this is a hard one. I guess
got Winthrop. I picked Winthrop second. They were 5th in the media poll. I totally disagree with that. I think that some journalists have been sucked into the money guns of teams rather than, coaching experience.
Yeah. I like Presbyterian as my sleeper. I think they could be a random wild card, and I like what Ferrell, he knows how to win, and with these inexperienced coaches in the conference. So they could be a sleeper. I'm, of course, with Winthrop with you guys on that too.
Okay.
All righty.
Mac, you're on Winthrop for sleeper there?
Yeah, sleeper. I don't really have is Radford's not really a bust. They were picked 4th, and I picked them 5th.
I mean, you can go off of wins too. So Radford last year had 9 wins.
I think they're going to be the same as last year.
Okay. Does Southern win more than 6? Does Upstate win more than 2 for your sleeper?
Yeah, I think Upstate takes a couple games. They win 5 this year. Where do you go, Upstate? Let's
10,
go.
10-win season, Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, I misspoke there because you're looking for a disappointment or bust because you have Winthrop as sleeper.
Yeah, I don't really have a bust. That's the problem. Like
Gardner Webb win less than 5 games.
Probably right at 5.
Yeah.
High Point win less than 14.
They could take a step back. I think the
You've
ceiling
got them
is
winning the
lower.
league though.
Yeah, the ceiling is lower and the floor is higher this year, which is
so.
why
What's the winning record in this conference? Is it like?
I think it's 12-4. I said that on the Pump Fake pod. I think it's 12-4.
Yeah,
maybe a 13-3, but I don't think people are going to get 14 wins, and there's going to be like 3 or 4 teams around the 11-12 win mark.
We're really stretching this disappointment guidelines for Mac on this one to take that point.
Damn, it's dark as shit in my house. Yeah, I think that these teams are not that far off from each other.
Okay.
So, as I plug my light back in,
I guess I'll go with. I'm gonna be a little bit more bullish, and I think Gardner Webb's the basement team this year. I think they win 2 or 3 games. Last year they had 5 wins. I don't see that this year. I got the Bulldogs being the disappointment.
All righty, that does it for the Big South, man.
Huffer, what was your disappointment? Bust.
Like I said, it's a wild card. I guess I don't know if you can even classify Radford as a bust. I don't think you can. I guess I'll go High Point because they're just expected to be good. I don't know. And then they don't. I don't have them winning the conference, I guess.
So you've jumped on that wagon with Mac. You're on the High Point. Takes a slight step back.
It's just a tough league, and I think this is kind of roulette wheel for the top 4 teams in this conference a little bit. So we'll have to roll the dice.
1 down, 2 to go over here at the College Basketball Experience. We got a football show coming up here tonight. Go check out the Pump Fake Pod with Michael Huffer, a.k.a. Huff Puff, baby. They're breaking down all the leagues. Go check out Noah Bienick at NoahB77_.
Thanks for joining us, Huff.
Yes,
yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Have fun with the rest of your conferences. Down to talk hoops anytime, as you know. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm at Moneyline_Mac. We are the College Basketball Experience. Stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. Cheers, everybody, and we are out of here. Got the Lions play tonight, Phoenix.
Yeah, they do. They're playing the Bucks. Was it 7 or 8? I don't even know.
7.